as I was just asking John, it is just now out of the bag, like within the last 3-4 days, that Fastest Land Animal is you guys. Are you allowed to say who else is in the band, or is it just you two are leading and everyone else is still a secret?
There's one other member of the band. His name is Jonny Blaze, and I think he's joining us.
There he is.
Yeah, there is John, right on time as expected right there. Thanks for joining, John. Are you good today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thank you very much. Everyone is doing great in spite of the state of the world. So we may or may not have spoken a couple weeks ago, but this is the real conversation of it all. So what exactly is in the can for Fastest Land Animal? Like, for example, there is an album done, correct?
The album's done. It's out. It was released on March 5th, and it's available wherever you consume music. It's just entitled Fastest Land Animal. And we have a website, right? fastestlandanimal.band.
Correct.
And we've got really cool merch there. And obviously the album's released digitally. We also released it on vinyl because we love vinyl. We did a cassette release because, you know, the 80s. And we have a CD too, because apparently there's like 7 people
the 90s,
Nebraska who still have CD players in their cars. And so we need to play to that crowd as well. And we've got T-shirts and a whole bunch of other fun stuff.
I don't know if you guys coordinated this, but I see Johnny in front of gear. I see Andrew in front of gear. It's not just an act. You are not just pretending to be musicians. You are musicians, and that's not exactly the norm these days. So I think that's intended to be a compliment right there. Do you take that as a compliment? Hey, real musicians doing real musician things.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that's why it's all here. So we can
we have no shortage.
Musicians.
Andrew has no shortage of snare drums, as you can see.
Yeah.
And he actually plays the drum kit with the sticks and the whole thing. And Johnny, you can see there's some of the amps he owns. And, you know, we were very proud of the sounds we got on this album. This album was recorded remotely over Zoom and over another program that allows you to do music from remote different areas of the world, in this case, the country. And we were very, specific about the kind of amp guitar sounds we wanted to get. And Johnny was very good at picking just the right guitar, the right amp, and getting the sound we all imagined in our mind's eye.
Sure. Now, Andrew and John, I know how you two first met. How did John get into the fold? What was his tie into the whole process?
Which John? Me, John, or the other
Johnny?
Well, Johnny B, right there, Mr. Blaze himself.
Yeah, sorry, what was the question again?
How did you come into the fold of this band? Who did you know, or how did it happen?
I kind of introduced them. I knew them each independently. And I kind of introduced Andrew into our other band. And everyone just got along so famously.
Yeah, our other band is called the Cringe. Johnny's the bass player in that band. I'm the front man, and Andrew is the, I guess we call him the substitute drummer, like the substitute teacher. Johnny actually was introduced to me years and years ago by the former bass player of the Cringe, who was moving to Bakersfield. We all lived in New York on the East Coast, and he said, I can't be in the band anymore, but I have a really cool guy who lives locally who I think you'll like, and he plays bass. Turns out he didn't play bass, but he played guitar. But if you can play guitar, you can play bass. It's the same thing with 2 less strings. And
That's
so
not true. Come on.
Just
I met Johnny.
I mean, Billy Sheehan, of course, he could do everything, but everyone else.
Exactly. But anyway, that was the story I was told. I met Jonny Blaze. I fell in love immediately, and he became a member in good standing of the Cringe. And then there came a point where our normal main drummer in the Cringe, a guy by the name of Sean Pelton, who his dance card's pretty full because he plays for Saturday Night Live house band for a long time, and he's always got a lot of stuff going on. We needed someone else to fill in when he wasn't around. And so Johnny introduced me to Andrew Meskin, the Shark, as we call him. And yeah, he's been by our side ever since.
Yeah, I believe the last time I saw the Cringe live, which was opening for Rat on Long Island, Andrew was behind the kit right there.
Paramount.
Nice. Paramount, yeah.
At the Paramount. And
We've played there. That's my hometown, Huntington, New York. So we love.
yeah, well,
That's Andrew's hometown as well.
Sort of
really?
close enough.
Close
Comac,
enough.
but
So 2/3 of Fastest Land Animal are from Huntington-ish.
well, if you put together all the Huntington cards, so there's you two, there's the wife whose name I think Courtney Hengler on Cobra Kai, she's living there now.
Oh.
And Mariah Carey's from there, Ralph Macchio.
Northport. Yes. Well, you know, Huntington's a very beautiful, beautiful part of the world. I think I loved growing up there. It was a great childhood. You've got you're on the North Shore, so you have a really nice, pretty little Long Island Sound beach nearby, and then you can go to the big ocean on the other side of town if you want to sit in traffic forever on this southern state. And you're about an hour's drive from New York City, about an hour's drive from the Hamptons. So you're kind of right at the center of the universe, Huntington, New York.
Exactly. So you guys fed into a question that I was leading towards before when you said, well, we know Johnny from the Cringe. And I've known about the Cringe for a long time. My wife has seen the Cringe. I believe the last time my wife saw it was at the Studio Webster Hall. So that goes a ways back right there.
That's like years ago.
Yeah, those were some years ago. Sean Pelton used to come into her old store all the time and, hey, come to the gig. And here we are. So what was the decision, being that it's some of the same people in the Cringe, to make a new band as opposed to just going, hey, the Cringe is going in a different direction?
Well, I think the Cringe is its own discrete thing. It's, you know, sort of in my mind, it's a classic rock meets grunge rock, you know, but it's a rock band where you can do the overblown guitar solos, and you can be a little sanctimonious with your lyrics and your presentation, and you can do, you know, a 10-minute jam if you feel like it. Whereas Fastest Land Animal is a punk band. It's punk rock. Every song needs to be around 3 minutes long. Every song should be fast. Grab them right away with the hooks. And then the album, of course, is short. It's 30 minutes long, so it's not very long either. But the Ramones did that successfully, obviously, with arguably the first punk rock record of all time. And so we figured if they could do it, we could, you know, at least strive for that, which is what we're trying to do.
Fair question. With this album done, is there even more in the can? For example, like you had to pare it down because there was even more recorded for it?
Oh, I wish I was that efficient of a writer. I wish I was like Springsteen. He's got, notebooks full of lyrics, and you know, he releases an album, but he has like 8 other albums already recorded in the can. I don't work that well. It was a struggle to even get to these 9 songs on this album. We were originally going to do an EP because I had 4 or 5, you know, decent songs, and we were working on them. And then as we entered into the recording process, recording an album, at least for me, like triggers something in your mind that makes you want to write more songs. It's the whole creative process. You get excited about recording things. You get excited about how it sounds, so you want to write more. So that's what I did. And by the time we were, you know, done recording those first batch of songs, I had a few more, and then a few more after that. And then eventually we had 9 songs and had an album done. That being said, I am working on more material for what we hope will be a second Fastest Land Animal album at some point in the future.
Johnny, that's your understanding as well, keeping you involved here?
Yes.
Blaze,
A man of many words.
Slapping the bass. But Johnny, how exactly did you meet John in the first place? Now, I asked what your introduction to this band was, but back in the olden days, back in the pre-COVID days, how you could have met your bandmates. It could have been Craigslist. It could have been mutual friends. How did you guys first connect?
I was introduced to Andrew through a mutual friend in New York, back when I used to, be a guitar player for hire. Andrew was kind of doing the same thing, so we knew a lot of the same people, kind of were at the same rehearsal spaces, and we just knew the same dude, and he kind of connected us for a project. And Andrew and I kind of, same age, similar interests, both grew up in New York, so we kind of hit it off as friends. And then we kind of worked as a duo, hey, you need a guitar player, bass player, and drummer. It's we're your guys. And we kind of went from there. And then we, did we lose touch for a little bit, Andrew? I can't remember.
I don't think so, but
wishful thinking?
Apparently we did. Wishful thinking, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, maybe when I got the call to audition for the Cringe, I just felt like Andrew would be a perfect fit. And he was always in my mind and in my heart. So did that help? Did that save it?
That was good. That saved it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I think that was a great.
I remember when I first met Andrew, who's wearing that hat he's wearing right now. So I kind of almost didn't want to talk to him because I'm a Yankees fan. And as you can see, he's wearing a New York Mets hat.
Okay. I'll put on a different one. It's fine. Okay, we're good now.
All right. Now we're talking much better. Now you can put your Mets hat back on.
Oh, it's still a Mets hat.
It's the Mets hat in the top corner. You see.
I know. Look at. Oh, yeah, it is still a Mets hat. Hey.
Exactly. There's a big rock and roll crossover into the Mets fan base, I find, Andrew, that you see with the comedians. You have Seinfeld, Jim Brewer. You have your
Kevin James, right?
Kevin James. They're populating all those games. Musicians too. It seems to be an indie rock thing, not a hip hop thing. Hip hop goes to the Yankees. Indie rock goes to the Mets. Or do you think I have this all wrong here?
No, I think you're right. I mean, look, it's the Mets. Mets fans are just better people. They're nicer.
No. See,
they're more organized. They just
the Mets play in Queens, and that's closer to Williamsburg, where all the hipsters live. So that's why there's all those musicians there.
Also, if you're a New York kid of the 80s, you're going to be a Mets fan. Let's be honest.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because of the great hip hop song "Get Metsmerized."
Look,
John C. Do you remember "Get Metsmerized"?
I think you made that up.
I don't know. Get Metsmerized. I remember the Meet the Mets song.
Yeah,
which you make fun of all the time. Yes.
Of course I do. I'm a Yankee fan.
Well, did the Yankees ever have one of those team songs? I once went down a rabbit hole where I was finding all the team raps that happened because of the Super Bowl shuffle from the Bears. And I don't remember ever seeing the Yankees stoop to the level of having a team rap.
Well, they were too busy playing baseball, I mean, that's what they do.
Okay, hold on. We're going to settle this real quick.
Okay.
Mascots. The Mets have Mr. Met, who has an edge and an attitude. He's been known to give the finger, even though we can't prove it's the middle finger because there's only 4. The Yankees have what? Dandy.
Dandy. Yeah, I apologize in advance for the Yankee Dandy. He was they tried to have a mascot decades ago, and this looked like a twisted science experiment where someone combined the genomes of Thurman Munson and Big Bird, and it ended up being really messed up and really creepy, and only lasted a few seasons. So, the Yankees aren't good at the whole mascot thing. What we are good at, though, is playing baseball. So, Mr. Met, have fun, and Mr. Met, can you swing a bat or throw a pitch or catch a ball?
All right.
I don't know.
This will be a whole other show. We can reconvene for the Mets Yankees show.
That'll be a thing, but bringing it all back together, bringing you guys back together here, there are certain commonalities that I'm sure you all have. So the Ramones, for example, everyone loves the Ramones.
Sure.
Misfits.
100%.
Very important.
Everyone loves the Misfits, I'm guessing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Glenn Danzig, and, they were great. Goth rock, punk rock.
Everyone
Buff you up rock.
with Kiss.
2 out of 3.
I can't.
Okay.
I'm a Kiss fan. I've been a Kiss fan since I was 12.
2 out of
So
3.
I got nothing bad to say about Kiss. They're the best. And, even to this day, you go see them live and you get 110% from those guys, man. They don't have to do it. They can mail it in. They could stay home and count their money. Doesn't matter. They go on stage and they put on a show with a capital S, capital H, capital O, capital W.
And those riffs are still so good.
Those riffs are great. And Gene Simmons is Johnny, you're the bass player. Is he kind of an underrated bass player?
He is, definitely. I mean, he comes from the McCartney school, but that's a good school to come from. Yeah.
For sure.
He's underrated except for the albums in the 80s and 90s that he didn't play on that a studio bassist played on. But other than those, very
well,
we're
Peter
talking about,
didn't play a lot of stuff. Ace Frehley didn't play in a lot of stuff. I mean,
Anton Fig's the best Kiss drummer there ever was.
I would agree with that one. Yes. I love Kiss, but of course it's a self-loathing kind of process. So I was just trying to figure out which the common bands for everyone here was before everyone splintered off into their own. I'm guessing Queens of the Stone Age is a universally loved band based on Fastest Land Animals' overall sound.
I mean, it's loved by me, and I also like Eagles of Death Metal. Can't speak for the other guys, but
Yeah, I mean, definitely Queens of the Stone Age, that's influential in the drumming sound of this record for sure. So,
Johnny, you too?
yeah, I definitely dig them. I mean, I think I really stopped listening to new music in like 1997, but I do like them.
Well,
you just don't want to be influenced. You don't want to plagiarize just by hearing something. So
I heard all the great music up to that point, and I'm like, I'm good.
That's a common thing that I hear, that people stopped
I
listening.
mean, it's a total like old guy thing to say. Like now, as I'm older now, I totally get those. When I was a kid in the 80s, like all those like old hippies. I was like, oh, like now I totally understand that. Like we used to make fun of them back in the day. I was like, oh no, I get it.
Well, what replaced new music for you if it wasn't seeking out new music?
Like what other vice or?
Yeah, hobby or interest. Because of course there was a time replacement of no longer going to the record store as much and not having like new radio stations on all the time.
Well, Johnny's got a kid, so he's listening to Baby Shark all the time, I think.
Yeah,
It's a great tune.
No.
Of course you like it.
I guess everyone but me, the kidless, physically grown but not mentally grown people are listening to Baby Shark. So that's inevitable and all that.
I will tell you though, also having children, you guys won't know it, but Bubble Guppies, Johnny can attest to this. Great songwriting, and no joke, all hooks.
They're the Beatles of Bubble Guppies.
They're the Beatles of animated cartoon. Yeah.
Well,
I'm so happy I don't have to subject myself to any of this music.
ditto.
You're gonna like it. I'm telling you. It's a great
all
song.
right, I'm gonna look Bubble Guppies up on Spotify.
Very good.
Well, so John can get to the Bubble Guppies within the next few minutes here. I'll ask 2 more questions and then you will be free for me. And the first one is, the album is new. The announcement that you guys are is new. Is there anything concrete for the future that you guys know? Like, for example, is there a live stream? Is there a gig? Is there anything?
I would love for there to be a tour, but right now everything kind of hangs in the balance. So we're awaiting the checkered flag, and then we'll be off to the races. But until then, we're here. We're available when it's safe. We're gonna plan a big tour, come to a city near you, hopefully play the Paramount many more times. And in the interim, we're working on the second Fastest Land Animal album, which I'm still thinking of the name. Maybe it's More Faster-ish Land Animal or Fast-ish Infinity Land Animal. I don't know yet.
How about More Faster?
More faster.
More
Yeah.
faster Land Animal. Fastest Land Animal. More faster.
I am glad that you guys are wasting no time because you're off to a hot start. So the last question, which has nothing to do with anything, is for each of you. And Is there a TV recommendation that you could pass on for somebody who needs that new show to start?
I think Better Call Saul is the best show on television at the moment.
I can't disagree with that.
Oh, I'm sure everyone's seen it.
I'm going to go, if you haven't seen it yet, with Ozark. I think of this whole lockdown, I really enjoyed that one.
That was my pick.
But you already went with you agreed with Better Call Saul.
Well, I agree with that one. We like crime dramas. I've just been binging incessantly and nonstop on old Columbo episodes. They're available now on, I believe it's Peacock. So if you haven't already, I would dive deep into the Columbo library and just enjoy the greatest television that's ever been made with the greatest actor of all time, Peter Falk.
So if I can recap what I have learned today is Fastest Land Animal, second album is probably going to happen. Really record speed here. Title to be determined. The Cringe is still a thing. Everyone still likes each other in the Cringe. It's just a little detour stylistic. We
haven't broken up yet.
I'm kidding.
So that is a long running band. Everyone is keeping busy and doing the best that they can. Everyone has great taste. 2/3 of the band likes Kiss, and 2/3 of the band likes the Mets, or 1/3.
I'm a Mets fan as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2/3.
Daryl Strawberry, come on.
2/3 likes the Mets.
Nails.
Nails as a player, not Nails.
Not Nails now.
Now there's a
1986
character.
Nails.
And Huntington is a wonderful place to be from and or be.
It's Huntington, my hometown.
Okay, well, when we eventually tape a part 2, we're going to talk some Piercy and Rat and Van Halen and all that. But for now, thank you guys for doing this, and hope to see you live in New York very, very soon.
Cool, man. Thanks,
Darren.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Darren.
We'll see you.
Paltrocast.